Chair.
Thank you, Senator Butler. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Wise, you're not being honest with us, are you?
That is incorrect.
Well, we all may be poorer under President Biden, but we're not stupid. We have a long list of your articles and your opinions and your political statements. On March 8, 2017, you wrote an article for Time magazine while you were a sitting judge. It's entitled Judge, Gender Laws Are at Odds with Science. I'm going to quote your words. When legislators blur the lines of church and state and enact laws that permit or prohibit conduct based on biological gender as only male or female, they place an impossible burden on the judiciary. End quote. Did I read that accurately?
I do not know because I don't have the article in front of me.
Well, I do.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and I've got a hell of a video for you guys today. This judicial nominee is a flaming activist and is completely open about it. She's written articles about being an activist, about actually judges, you'll see in the video, going to protests. It's absurd. And this lady's sitting on the bench. Once again, Chuck Schumer boasted all over the place about putting progressive judges and putting activists on the bench. It's fascinating to watch, and I've got a treat for you guys today, so y'all make sure and buckle up for that. Smash that like button for me. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Hit that subscribe button, by the way. This is the best place for media manipulation. As a matter of fact, if you want to know how you're being manipulated by corporate press news articles, this is the place to be. This is what we do, folks. We read the news, we analyze the news, and we figure out who's lying here. Y'all click that join button. If you don't mind, I'd be deeply appreciative of that gesture. If you could do that for me, that'd be great. And without any further ado, let's get into it, y'all.
You also said in that article, quote, your words, not mine, sex has countless natural permutations, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe that is consistent with medical science and under the Daubert standard, the science that comes in as expert testimony in trials.
On October 13, 2020, while you were serving as a state judge, you wrote an article for The Atlantic entitled, quote, your words, not mine, America's judiciary doesn't look like America. And you criticized this committee and President Trump for his judicial nominees. You said, quote, these are your words, not mine. The judiciary crafted over the past 4 years does not look like America. Not one of these judges is black, and more than 90% were raised or currently identify as Christians. I don't know how you knew that. And then you say, quote, your words, not mine. Identity is the lens that filters everything and everyone we encounter, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Again, I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
I got it right here. You wrote another article on July 31, 2020 for the San Francisco Daily Journal, in which you advocate for the right of sitting judges to be able to go to protests, didn't you?
That is incorrect.
No, it's not. I'm looking at it right here. This is what you say. No judge should be ethical. Your words, not mine. You just said you didn't say them. You turned these articles over. No judge should be ethically constrained from speaking or taking action that reinforces that constitutional and moral imperative. May judges participate in demonstrations that denounce racism, support equal justice, and reinforce our constitutional rights to free speech and peaceable assembly? Yes. End quote. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
If you're a federal judge, are you going to go to protests?
I would like to answer the substance of the underlying question that was asked.
I'd like you to answer my question. I've only got another minute or so. If you're a federal, let me put it another way. Have you ever gone to a protest, a public protest, while you're a sitting judge?
Senator Kennedy, the article that you are referring to
Have you ever
was
gone to a
written-
protest while you're a sitting judge?
I do not believe that I have ever attended a protest as a sitting judge, or perhaps ever in my life.
And you talk about Girls Inc. You say you've never heard of them. You were on the, or you don't know that much about them. You were on the board from 2014 to 2024. You're still on their board, aren't you?
I'm not. My term expired this last month.
And you've given them over $50,000, haven't you?
I do not believe that is correct.
That's what your report says. And this is the same Girls Inc. that says, quote, on its website, here's how they define girls. Quote, girls refers to gender expansive youth, cis girls, trans girls, non-binary youth, gender and non-conforming youth, genderqueer youth, and any girl-identified youth. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know. I've never heard of that policy or that definition
You
from
never heard
Girls
of it.
Inc.
Listen, in spite of your, can I just have 30 more seconds? In spite of your strongly held political beliefs, and we've got all of them, all your articles, they're as long as King Kong's are you telling us today, do you believe that you will not allow your strongly held political beliefs to influence your judicial opinions? Do you believe that?
The best evidence of the type of federal judge I will be,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
type of
Do you
judge,
believe that? Do you believe that?
is the type of judge I have been for 10 years, who is one who always puts the law above my personal.
Do you also believe in Bigfoot? Do you believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Your time has expired, Senator.
Do you believe Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes?
Senator Hirono.
That's what I love about Senator Kennedy. He just doesn't care, and he's always got these good little colloquialisms, if you will, just to come in and kind of clear the room, clear the smoke, clear any sort of ambiguity about what in the hell he's saying. Right? This lady, you could see the look on her face. She has never been grilled like this before. She has never been put in this position. And it wasn't embarrassment that was on her face. What should have been on her face, as a matter of fact, should have been embarrassment. It's what that should have been, but it was utter disgust. Look, well, I'll throw up a screenshot of it. Look, that is utter disgust on her face. Like, how dare this man question my record, question my integrity, question anything? How dare this man do this to me? Fascinating, don't you think? And I love that little line when they were talking about genders, and as if gender is ambiguous. Oh, it's malleable. Oh, there's a spectrum here. No, it's not. Sex. They were talking specifically about sex. And she says, oh, well, that's what the science says and the experts. No, my dear, that is pseudoscience. Any scientist that says, oh, well, sex is a spectrum, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm sorry. It's definitely binary. Any scientist worth anything will tell you that. Anybody that says otherwise, that's just pseudoscience. It's nonsensical, delusional drivel coming from an activist because they want it to be that way because it feels good in the meantime. But once again, folks, you're placing people in a box that they really don't need to be in with really high rates of offing themselves. Why would you want to do that to somebody? Why not get them the help that they need? I don't get that. Why push this narrative? Why push this feminist garbage? Like, look, I'm not totally against feminism. Feminism has done some good things for the female community in this country, right? They got their voting rights. They can drive. They can go to work, and they can do all kinds of things, right? Equal rights. That's a good thing. I think those are fine. I'm just totally fine with that. But look, this push for feminism and the second wave, third wave feminism, and now we're getting to the fourth wave feminism where we're actually championing men as women. Like, what is going on? Like, I forget how many years ago it was, but what was it? Bruce Jenner was the woman of the year. How do we get to a point where a man is better at being a woman than a woman? Like, how do we get to that point, folks? How do we get to the point where in the women's boxing, we have two men going at it, and people cheer for this stuff? I don't understand what society is trying to do. And this, right, society has guardrails for a reason. And the left and Democrats, they just don't want any guardrails at all. They want it to go anywhere and everywhere that can. Look, society cannot function like that. People just don't understand what the hell's going on. You want to progress society? Look, I get it. I understand that. Society has been progressing since society began, as a matter of fact. Right? It was slow, and now it's speeding up, and it's been speeding up. And it's now going so fast that we don't know what the hell's going on from left to right. Once again, we find ourselves in a place where two men are competing for gold medals in women's sports at the Olympics. That's absurd. That's outright absurd. A man can be the woman of the year. Get that. Men think they can be women. There are people that go around saying men can be pregnant. For crying out loud, men can menstruate. They can't. They deny reality. That is reality denial. Just utter reality denial. And then she was talking about judges going to protests. If that's not an activist, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is. She's writing all these news articles. Right, judges should not write news articles, especially opinion pieces. Like, if you want to write some sort of legal brief or something like that and publish it in a newspaper, whatever that may be, about a case, about your feelings, expound upon your decision, whatever that may be, and publish that in some sort of corporate press or some sort of journal, I don't see a problem with that. But writing opinion pieces on judges should be allowed to go and protest. Do you think that falls within the ethical bounds of what a judge should be? No, judges are supposed to be impartial and fair. Does that show impartiality? No, as a matter of fact, it does not. I'll answer that for you, right? Pose a question, give an answer. That's what I do. That's what I do, folks. This is all fascinating. I just love how they expose these things. How these senators expose this stuff, this nonsense, exposing the record of this person. It really is, it needs to be exposed, y'all. It really does, because these people, like I said yesterday in my video, in case you didn't see it, you should go check it out, by the way. These people are sitting on the federal bench. These people are issuing rulings against Donald Trump. Things that are constitutionally protected, things that should be constitutionally protected, like Donald Trump deporting criminal aliens. They're stopping Trump from deporting criminal aliens. For crying out loud, what has this world come to when somebody can break into your house and you cannot remove them per a judge's order? That makes no sense, y'all. It really doesn't. I've got some other videos coming up for you guys today, so y'all make sure and stay tuned for all that. But I think I've rambled on for quite long enough on this one, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. What does this country come to, y'all? Seriously, like, where are we at and why are we here? Like, we just woke up one day and found that all this nonsense, this has been slowly rolling, and we've allowed for this to happen. The blame falls on conservatives for allowing this to go on, for allowing this to be pushed forward, for conservatives, Christians specifically, being the good people that they are for the most part, right? Sure, there's bad apples, I get it. But just sitting back and being like, let's just let them do what they want. Not understanding the ramifications that would come later, like what we had happen today, as a matter of fact, up in Minneapolis. That was a church. Like, I saw an entire expose. If the shooter is the person that they have researched, found him to be, that, to me, really just calls into question where the church is these days, and it's part of the reason why I don't belong to any specific church. I'm a really religious guy, right? I solely believe and have faith in God. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. But I just cannot align myself with the church. I just can't seem to do it. I haven't found a church that seems to be genuine. I don't know if it's the area that I'm in or what, but it's fascinating. I'm rambling again, so y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That would be a big help. And what would be a bigger help? And I need y'all's help on this, y'all. Y'all click that join button, sign up, and become a member and help this movement. Help expose these activist judges. Help expose the corporate press for the manipulators in chief that they are. Help me push this movement forward. Y'all do all that for me. And remember that God is always with us, and He loves each and every one of you out there. So y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.